argument for the wall is ridiculous. I think it's a joke. I think it makes me very angry, and the idea that this is a national emergency is laughable, because President Trump and the Republicans had control of Congress for a couple of years, and they did absolutely nothing about this. It is true we have a problem, we have a big problem on our border right now, but it's not with illegal immigration. It's with legal, a bunch of thousands, tens of thousands of migrants, legal, to apply for asylum in this country, despite what you might hear from Mr. Trump. To apply for asylum is 100% legal. And Republicans are turning that, and it's true, there's a massive problem. We don't have enough immigration judges. We don't have enough resources addressing that particular issue. So there's becoming a big problem. There's no question about it. And it's being made worse by this administration's policies. The idea that we ripped families apart, that we ripped children from their families and have separated them, and in fact, we have no way of tracking some of the parents and matching up their babies. Our government, to our shame, has essentially kidnapped children. And those children, there are some of these kids which will never find their parents again. And to me, that is so outrageous and so disgusting. It's not what this country is supposed to be about. The wall is ineffective, it's inexpensive, Mexico is supposed to pay for it, they're not. I could go on and on about the wall is crazy.
Do we have an influx of people coming across our borders who are, maybe they're not coming legally, or they're coming here to claim asylum? I sat in the lobby because I got here early and looked up on the government website. Why didn't the Republicans do something earlier? 6 months ago in October, we had 51,000 people that were apprehended at the southern border. 5,000 of those were children, 23,000 were family units, and 22,000 were single adults. 6 months later, in March of 2019, there were not 5,000 unaccompanied minors, there were 9,000 accompanied minors in 1 month. Not 23,000 family units, 53,000 family units, and not 22,000 single adults, but 30,000 in 1 month alone. So we see this problem is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the real question is, why didn't President Obama do anything? Because you know who was separating children from their families? The Obama administration, and that's why the Supreme Court handed down the Flores decision that said you couldn't do that. But we still have 9,000 unaccompanied minors not coming over here with their parents. That is a problem. We know that 90% of the people that claim asylum and are released to await their asylum hearing never come back for their asylum hearing. That is, they just go into the country, they set up shop, and they never come back. So we do have a problem, but we definitely need more border security. It is a crisis, and even Obama's Secretary of DHS came out last week and said, we have a crisis on our southern border.
I just wish when conservatives address this issue, they'd actually use facts. Because it drives me crazy when they don't. And a couple things that Chris said are just factually untrue. The fact that President Obama, for example, did nothing to address illegal immigration is fundamentally not true. President Obama, he was criticized by many liberals because he's known as essentially the deportation president. For people who had crossed the border illegally, deportations under his administration went to record high levels. The fact that the Obama administration separated kids the same way that the Trump administration separated kids, that's a lie. That is fundamentally not true. We have never had a government policy which its sole purpose was to punish families by separating them and ripping them apart. That's just a fact. And finally, Chris stated that about 90% of asylum seekers don't come back for their hearings. Again, that's just not true. The statistics show the numbers of people who actually show up when they're supposed to is not 10% as she suggested. It's closer to 70 or 75 or 80%. Not perfect, definitely not perfect, but not 10%, and not this crazy, distorted picture of the problem. And it is a big problem. It's a big problem that we need to address, but we need to do so by recognizing facts.
I'll just take a rebuttal and encourage you all to do what I did and just Google immigration facts and statistics and make sure that the website you go to ends in .gov, because that's an official federal government website and not HuffPost and not BuzzFeed and not Fox News or CNN.
Disgusting. Ew. Trash.
One, two, three, go. Go, you're not new. You got the point?
Yeah, easy. You said I'm not done, right? I wish for a really cool friend right now.
You got it.
And since I'm saving up for a car.